The anonymity of the sedan was a deceptive shield. Dr. Lena Thorne, the newly elected premier of the province of Etheria, navigated the quiet, tree-lined roads of Azure County, a serene transition zone between the bustling capital of Viridian and her father's care facility. She was driving a borrowed, unremarkable silver vehicle. No government plates, no discernible security features. A deliberate act of self-effacement for a moment of private sorrow. 3 months into her term as the first female premier with a background in social reform and systemic analysis, the pressure was immense, a heavy cloak woven with media scrutiny and political resistance. Her flagship initiative, the Thorne Transparency Act, designed to establish an independent oversight commission for law enforcement and curb excessive force, was currently stalled, drawing vitriolic opposition from the established powers. Lena, a former professor of sociology, was doing 68/text cam/h in a 70/text cam/h zone when the blue and red lights flared to life in her rearview mirror. The immediate cold dread that gripped her was not a political calculation, but a deep, primal response, a collective memory her education had only intellectualized, never eradicated. She signaled, pulled smoothly onto the narrow gravel shoulder, and placed both hands perfectly visible on the steering wheel. The officer who emerged from the cruiser was a monolithic figure. Officer Marcus, the Stone, Rossi, 15 years on the force, a man whose authority had never been truly questioned. His mirrored sunglasses reflected the humid noon sky, and his expression was a tight mask of ingrained suspicion. Rossi approached the driver's window, resting his hand pointedly on his weapon's grip, a silent assertion of dominance that was his preferred language. He let the silence stretch, a deliberate psychological pressure, before rapping his knuckles hard on the car roof. "License and registration," Rossi barked, dispensing with all pretense of courtesy. "They're in the glove compartment, officer," Lena replied, her voice measured and composed, announcing each necessary movement. "I'm retrieving them now." "Just get it," Rossi snapped. She presented the documents. Rossi snatched them, his focus not on the identification, but on her, a black woman, impeccably dressed, speaking with an educated cadence that he perceived as arrogance. "You know why I pulled you over?" he drawled, leaning close, the scent of stale tobacco acrid in the air. "No, officer, I do not. I was driving 68/text km/a. Driving too carefully," Rossi sneered, the rationale completely manufactured. "Smells like someone's got something to hide. Anything in the car I should know about? Drugs? Illegal weapons? I have nothing illegal in this vehicle, officer." Was I swerving? Did I violate a law? Evelyn's calm steel met his manufactured hostility. Rossi's face flushed. "I asked the questions. Your attitude is bordering on obstruction. Step out of the vehicle." "Officer," Lena insisted, her voice unwavering but firm. "Am I under arrest? I am required to exit my vehicle only if I am being detained or if you have reasonable suspicion that I have committed a crime other than driving too carefully." That simple assertion of her rights was the catalyst. In Rossi's worldview, it was an intolerable challenge to his absolute power. "You're a lawyer now, are you? Out of the car now," he roared, his voice cracking with rage. Before Lena could unbuckle, Rossi reached through the open window, fumbled with the door handle, and ripped the door open. "What are you doing?" Lena gasped. Rossi seized her left arm, not guiding but yanking her out. She stumbled onto the uneven gravel. Her instinctive pull to regain balance was misinterpreted as resistance. "Resisting," Rossi bellowed. The lie was already forming in his mind as he felt his authority threatened by the world changing around him. Years of impunity combined with accumulated resentment boiled over. He bypassed his handcuffs and taser and, with full force, drove his fist directly into Premier Lena Thorne's face. Lena's head snapped back, colliding hard with the silver car door. Stars exploded behind her eyes, replaced by the metallic taste of blood from her split lip and throbbing jaw. Rossi stood over her, chest heaving, convinced of the righteousness of his violence. "That'll teach you to mouth off," he spat, pointing a thick finger. His next words were cut off by the shriek of tires. A black, heavily tinted SUV slammed to a halt. Two men, moving with lethal tactical precision, erupted from the vehicle, firearms already leveled at Rossi's chest. "Drop it. Get on the ground now," shouted the lead agent, trained by the Premier's Executive Protection Unit. Rossi, stunned, dropped his hand to his holster. "Police! Back off! This is my scene," he shouted, It was the fatal mistake. The agent tackled Rossi with the force of a battering ram, slamming him face first onto the asphalt, wrenching his arm into a painful lock. "Shut your mouth. You're under arrest for assault on a public official." Rossi struggled, confused and furious, until he was hauled to his knees and forced to face the woman he had just struck. Lena, blood staining her white collar, leaned against the car, eyes clear and cold, a terrifying, intelligent rage burning behind them. The agent holding Rossi down snarled, "Take a good look, you idiot. That is the Honorable Dr. Lena Thorne, Premier of the province of Etheria." Recognition hit Rossi like a third paralyzing blow. His swagger vanished, incinerated by the cold dread of annihilation. His legs gave out. He knelt, openly weeping, voice high-pitched and pathetic. "Premier, oh God, ma'am, I didn't know it was you. I swear, I thought." Lena stepped deliberately in front of him. "You didn't know it was me?" she repeated. "That's your defense? You didn't know I was the premier?" "Yes, ma'am. I thought you were a regular person. Please, I have 15 years in. I have kids," he sobbed. "You thought I was a regular person?" Lena confirmed, her eyes locking onto his. "And that is the problem, Officer Rossi. You knew I was a human being. Was that not enough to warrant respect? Enough to keep you from dragging me out of my car and punching me because I asked why?" Rossi hung his head and wept. "Agent Diaz," Lena commanded, turning away. "Read him his rights. Process him exactly like any other citizen he would have pulled over today." The subsequent political storm was immediate. The Fraternal Order of Etheria Police, led by Sergeant Caleb Vance, spun the narrative, portraying Lena as non-compliant, argumentative, and provocative, claiming Rossi followed training. They offered a deal. Rossi would receive a temporary paid suspension and apologize for miscommunication if Lena agreed to remove key independent oversight and qualified immunity clauses from her Thorne Transparency Act. Marco August, her pragmatic chief of staff, pleaded, "Premier, we have to take the deal. This is word against yours. They're winning the perception battle. They're threatening a blue flu strike." Lena, her dark bruise visible, recalled her father's whisper. "Don't let them bend you, Lena. Tell them no," she said quietly but firmly. "Marco, you have no leverage. It's just your word." "You're wrong, Marco," she said, revealing a dual-lens, networked dashcam system installed by her husband. It had recorded the entire interior and driver's side from Rossi's first tap on the window to his collapse into sobbing. "I'm a sociologist," she said. "I needed the data. I needed them to commit to the lie. I gave them enough rope." The next day, the press room was saturated. Lena stepped onto the stage, bruise visible, letting the lies of the FOP hang in the air for a moment. "Sergeant Vance told you Officer Rossi was following training," she announced. "He said I was non-compliant. Today, I will not ask you to take my word for it." The screens flickered to life, displaying the high-definition video. Rossi's manufactured pretext, Lena's calm questions, the sudden violent punch, and Rossi's immediate, pathetic collapse into begging. Silence filled the room. Lena looked out at the stunned press corps. "Officer Rossi didn't assault me because I am the premier. He assaulted me because he thought he could. Imagine if it were your daughter, and she was nobody. She gets punched, arrested for resisting, and his lie becomes the official truth." The fallout was total. The union's narrative vaporized. Vance resigned in disgrace. Within 24 hours, the district attorney charged Rossi with felony assault and deprivation of rights under color of law. The Azure County Police Department fired him before arraignment. 2 weeks later, the Thorne Transparency Act passed the legislature with a veto-proof majority, the video eliminating all political opposition. Lena signed the bill, turning her personal cost, the scar that remained, into a systemic defense for millions. Justice had not required the victim to be extraordinary. The extraordinary victim had provided irrefutable proof. The guilty were punished, and a powerful union that shielded them was broken.